I stop by the partially open bedroom door and pause, listening. Avery and Hannah are fighting again. Actually, it's not so much a fight as it is a berating.
I don't understand why you're so stupid,
Hannah says, her tone dagger sharp yet almost matter-of-fact. Avery, as usual, says nothing. I can picture her standing there, head hanging and hands clutched in front of her as she takes it all.
What? You're not going to say sorry this time? Not going to apologize for being such a dummy?
Hannah continues. I shake my head and tiptoe past Hannah's bedroom door, reminding myself this is not why I'm here. I'm careful to avoid the creaky part of the hallway floor. After moving in a little over a week ago, I'm finally learning how to get around the house without making much noise. Avery's room is just down the hall. The door is open, but the lights are off and it's dark outside, so there's no illumination coming through the single window. I pause at the threshold and peer inside at the pitch-black gap under the bed. It's a twin bed, tucked into the corner of the room. Its small size is why the couple usually sleeps in Hannah's room, on her queen bed. I stare at that bar of darkness for a good 15 seconds, listening to the muffled sound of Hannah verbally abusing Avery. Nothing moves under there. Nothing that I can see, anyway. So I step into the room and turn on the light. I'm wearing sweatpants and a hoodie with a kangaroo pocket in front. There's a small wireless camera in the pocket. I look around the room, double-checking that there's no other place to put the camera. There's an air grate near the ceiling in the wall opposite the bed. I'll put it in there and hope Avery doesn't shut the grate for some reason. I pull a small Phillips head screwdriver out of my sweatpants pocket and grab the chair from the desk under the window. I can still hear Hannah talking, so I know I have some time. It doesn't take long to get the grate off and the camera positioned. But as I'm screwing the thing back in place, I notice the talking has stopped. I hurry, hearing Avery walk across the creaky part of the hallway. She's close. I don't get one of the screws all the way back in, but I'm out of time. I get down from the chair, put it back by the desk, and pocket the screwdriver just before Avery steps into her doorway. Despite being 24, Avery's face reminds me of a child's. Her eyes are big, which gives her an innocent expression. The smooth white skin of her face is currently mottled pink from the confrontation she's just been through. Her thin and straight brown hair hangs down, parted in the middle. She hugs herself with her thin arms. Her face clouds with suspicion as she sees me, her brown eyes narrowing.
What are you doing in my room?
Sorry, I say. I thought I heard something moving around in here. I figured it might be a rat or something. I watch Avery's response closely. Her eyes shift down to the bed and then back up to me.
And?
Well, I didn't see anything, I say, smiling weakly. All clear. She moves into the room, brushing past me as she says,
Stay out of my room, Eddie.
Right, I say. Sorry, won't happen again. I head out, hearing Avery flop down onto her bed. She's sobbing before I'm out of earshot. As I head down the hall toward the stairs, I pass Hannah, who's leaning against her bedroom door jamb. She would be pretty if I didn't know how mean she was. Her crystal blue eyes follow me, her wavy blonde hair perfect as ever.
What are you doing?
She asks with a sneer. Nothing, I say, shrugging.
Just heading to my room. Don't be a creep. My name's on the lease. I can kick you out if you're gonna be a creep.
I raise my hands in surrender.
I'm just walking down the hall, Hannah.
I head down the stairs into my room, shutting the door behind me. Firing up my laptop, it takes me less than a minute to pull up the feed from the camera I put in Avery's room. She's still sobbing. The camera has an excellent microphone, and I watch as she gets up and shuts her door. Then, getting ready for bed, she pulls off her t-shirt. I turn away from the computer screen, not wanting to invade her privacy. Which is ridiculous, because I just put a freaking camera in her room without her knowledge. Still, I didn't put it there to watch her undress. And I like Avery. She's been dealt a tough hand in life. That much is clear from the file I have on her. Despite that, she hasn't turned out like Hannah, who has led a charmed life. When I glance back at the screen after a couple of minutes, I see that she's turned the lights off and she's under the covers. The camera has automatically switched to night vision, so everything is in shades of green and black. I watch as Avery does something under the covers. At first, I'm at a loss. It's like she's reaching down to scratch her foot or something. But when she brings a sock out from under her blanket, I realize that she got into bed with her socks on and she's just taking them off. She props herself up on her side, facing toward the side of the bed, and she slowly lowers the sock so it's hanging between the bottom of her bed and the floor. I lean closer, watching intently. Something moves in the darkness under the bed, and as it does, the camera feed goes fuzzy.
Come on,
I whisper.
not now.
The image is loud with static as a slender and greenish arm reaches out from the darkness under the bed. The fingers are spindly and knobby with sharp-looking nails at the ends. The forearm is extremely skinny and, from what I can tell, very long. The hand snatches the sock out of Avery's hand and disappears back into the black. After a moment, the screen clears up again. Flopping down onto her back, Avery speaks.
I'm so glad you're my friend.
She says, sniffling.
You're the only one I have.
I watch for several minutes longer, but nothing happens. Eventually, I can hear Avery snoring softly. She's asleep. I smile. We've got something here. A brand new SCP. My first undercover case, and it's not a false alarm. Hell yes. The next day, after sending my written report to my boss, I wait until both Avery and Hannah are gone before going into Avery's room. I look under the bed with a flashlight, not really surprised that I don't see anything out of the ordinary. If it were that easy, this SCP would have been caught a long time ago. Next, I head downstairs and wait for a few minutes while the air conditioner people show up. I watch their van pull up and their door open as they approach with their equipment.
Here to check the HVAC system,
the man says with a wink. I show him and the woman in. Both of them are wearing red and black uniforms and hats with the HVAC company logo on them. The foundation goes all out. I show them up to the room and stand back while they pull out and ready their equipment. Some of the stuff I recognize, but other stuff I don't. Theirs is a completely different job from mine.
How long until someone comes home?
The woman asks.
Not until 3, unless something unexpected happens,
I tell her.
But I'll get an alert on my phone when they get within 2 miles of the house.
Good, she says, going to work. A half hour later, they're packing up their stuff again.
Nothing at all?
I ask. The man shakes his head, looking disappointed.
Nothing. You guys saw the video, right?
I ask.
I didn't hallucinate the whole thing.
No, we saw it, the woman says, lifting her toolbox.
You're not crazy. It's just that none of our normal equipment works. We'll have to formulate a game plan and come back with some different equipment.
Okay, I say, stepping aside so they can walk out of Avery's room. There's really nothing I can do. So I spend the next several hours reading up on more obscure SCPs on my encrypted laptop. I hear both Hannah and Avery come home during that time. I check the camera feed to see if Avery's in her room. She's not. Nothing is happening under the bed either. Around 7:30, I come out of my room to get some dinner. While I'm heating up some leftovers, the doorbell rings. I hear Hannah answer it, her voice overly loud and excited. 3 other voices soon join hers. I forgot. Hannah said she was going to have some friends over tonight. Soon, she comes into the kitchen and glares at me. She has a glass in her hand with only half-melted ice inside. I give her a weak smile as she goes about refilling her drink with vodka and cranberry juice. I can tell by the way she's moving she's already had a few. I move into the dining room to sit and eat. From here, I can see directly into the living room, where the small group has congregated. There are 2 women and 1 man, all in their early 20s and all sitting on the L-shaped couch around the wooden coffee table. The table is stacked with wine bottles and a fifth of cinnamon whiskey. Avery sits near the edge of the couch, smiling politely and saying a few words here and there when prompted. One of the women asks her how her job is going, and Avery starts to open up.
It's good,
She says.
I really enjoy the work. I've always wanted to work with animal.
Oh my God, shut up!
Hannah says, swaying into the room with 3 wine glasses clutched to her chest, along with her now full glass of booze.
No one wants to hear about your stupid job. You're so fucking boring.
The man chuckles uneasily, but the other 2 women just smile politely. Hannah stops by the coffee table, bending down to set the glasses on it. Her face red, Avery gets up from the couch and heads toward the stairs, her small fists clutched at her side.
Oh, where are you going, you whiny little bitch?
Hannah calls after her.
Gonna go cry on your little Betty bye?
Hey, Hannah.
One of the women starts, but she's cut off when Hannah yells.
Don't walk away from me!
Avery stops, still facing the stairs. She doesn't turn around.
Come back over here and sit down with my friends.
Hannah commands.
Not if you're going to be like this.
Avery says, her voice small, apologetic.
Not if you're going to be like this.
Hannah mocks in a high voice.
I don't understand how you've even lived this long. Can't do anything for yourself. You won't even fight with me. Don't you have any goddamn self-respect, you stupid fucking bitch?
Finally, Avery spins around. Just as she does, 2 slender, gray-green arms reach out from under the coffee table toward Hannah's legs. The hands seem to tremble with rage, the sharp nails at the ends of the knobby fingers gleaming in the light from above. Then, the thing's head comes into view. 2 black horns poke out from its wretched face. Sulfur yellow eyes glare hatefully up at Hannah's back. The thing's mouth hangs open, saliva gathering between 3 rows of pointed teeth and dripping over its rubbery bottom lip. Stringy and moist black hair hangs down from its head, almost touching the floor. It's clear that Avery doesn't notice this. Her eyes are wrenched shut, and she's pulling her breath in for a scream as the arms reach out. Then, as she lets loose with the scream, one filled with so much anger, frustration, and rage that it's a wonder the windows don't break, the hands grab hold of Hannah's legs. Hannah's eyes go wide as her legs are pulled out from under her. Her face smacks into the carpet as she hits the floor. Then she's pulled under the coffee table, screaming. But her screams can't even compete with the volume at which Avery is letting loose. All I can see under the coffee table is thrashing limbs at first. Then the blood comes. It splashes out onto the carpet from under the table. Avery finally quits screaming and opens her eyes, looking at the bloody carpet in confusion. The sound of ripping flesh is interspersed with the occasional cry of pain. Then it's only the sound of savagely ripping flesh. And soon, that ends too. A moment later, Hannah's severed head rolls out from under the coffee table and comes to rest near Avery's feet. It's frozen in a terrified scream, and the 2 eyes point in wholly different directions. The 3 people on the couch stare down at the head in utter disbelief.
Holy shit!
I say from my spot at the dining room table. Everyone turns to look at me. Then the freak out begins. Hannah's friends panic, babbling and crying and screaming while pulling their legs up onto the couch. I pull out my phone and dial the emergency number.
We need a containment team here now!
I say. As soon as I hear the affirmative answer, I put the phone away. Avery turns and walks slowly up the stairs, leaving Hannah's head on the floor where it came to rest. I step out of the dining room and tell Hannah's friends that everything will be okay because I've called the authorities. They're on their way. Just stay calm. I usher them all into the kitchen where they can't see the bloody mess. Then I head upstairs. I find Avery lying on her side on the floor next to her bed, her back to me. She looks over her shoulder as I come in. I see that she's crying.
They're gonna take her away.
She sobs.
They're gonna hurt her. She was just trying to protect me. It's not her fault.
It's okay, I say. Nothing bad's going to happen to her. I can make sure that happens. But you have to get her to cooperate. Can you do that?
You can make sure?
Avery says, still crying.
How? Who are you?
Don't worry about that now, I say. What matters is that we can keep her safe.
We can keep you both safe. How does that sound?
That's all I've ever wanted.
A voice like crunching glass says from under the bed.
Just to keep Avery safe.
I turn and look at the yellow eyes peering out from the darkness.
We can absolutely do that,
I say with a smile. A jagged grin filled with rows of sharp teeth appears under those yellow eyes.
If you're lying, you're dying.
The creature says. I swallow hard, keeping the smile on my face. I wonder when the containment team will get here. SCP-3887-A is a 24-year-old Caucasian woman, formerly known as Avery Shepard. She has been in complete cooperation with the Foundation after the events of Incident 3887-A-1. SCP-3887-B is a humanoid entity 7.5 feet tall with skin that is grayish-green in color. It has 2 long horns growing from its forehead and long black hair growing from its head, neck, and shoulder blades. The entity's eyes have yellow sclera with no visible pupil. Its mouth hosts 3 rows of fangs, similar in shape and arrangement to those of the bull shark. It has elongated arms, forcing it to remain in a hunched posture and to move on all 4s most of the time. It possesses a long, hairless tail, similar to that of a common rat. Testing has shown that any substance or material presented to SCP-3887-B so far is able to be used as sustenance, but it has shown a clear predilection for SCP-3887-A's socks. The entity is extremely sensitive to light. Its skin rapidly develops blisters and open wounds when exposed to levels of light above 20 lux, forcing it to flee and disappear into the closest dark area. The process through which it escapes is currently not understood and is undergoing further study. SCP-3887-B's presence has been observed to disrupt and damage digital recording devices, with said interference worsening in direct correlation with how much of its body is exposed. The entity has shown aversion towards Foundation personnel, but has avoided any hostile actions to date so as not to upset SCP-3887-A. The two seem to have a strong emotional bond and have often been observed acting in an affectionate manner when they are alone. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast for more SCP stories like this one. You can also check out some more episodes from the SCP Experience podcast here. I'll see you in the next one.